Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Or welcome if you're new, I'm Chris. This is part 4, JFK assassin, final interview before his death. Shot JFK, the shocking truth. If you're joining for part 4, which is this one, you've missed a lot. I don't know why you're now joining. But the man is on his way up to Chicago. So before we get started, click that for me, completely free. Helps me out tremendously, more than you know. If you want to pay me something, click that. You throw some money at the channel. You can request a video. Your name sponsors the video. You can still request without donating. It just takes a little bit longer. This video was a request. All right, let's get into it.
Do you have any proof of what you've told us in regards to the Kennedy assassination?
When it gets down to this part about a lot of people ask a lot of different questions about things, the one thing that I could verify right now, which cannot be made public, is the ledger, diary, ledger, whichever you prefer to call it. It's a book with some papers and things that Charles Nicoletti gave to me before he was killed. Things got pretty active here. Sam Giancana was the first one to be killed, and that was in '75. And I'm not sure.
Sam Giancana was killed. Somebody came into his place while he was cooking sausages. I read a book on him. Cooking sausages, looked back, said hey, because he must have recognized the person, went back to cooking, and the person shot him in the back of the head, if I recall. Let's check together, shall we? Let's see what happens. How was Sam Giancana killed?
According to Wikipedia, after Giancana's return to the United States, police detailed officers to guard his house in Oak Park, Illinois. But on the night of June 19, 1975, shortly before he was scheduled to appear before the Church Committee, which was investigating CIA and Cosa Nostra collusion, a gunman entered the home through the basement.
There you go. Sorry. Okay, let me just finish what it was saying. A gunman entered the home through the basement and shot Giancana in the head and neck 7 times with a .22 caliber pistol. Here you go. With a .22 caliber pistol at around 11 p.m. Joseph DiPergio, Giancana's caretaker, found his body on the floor of the basement kitchen, where he was said to be frying sausage and peppers. A week before his death, Giancana had gallbladder surgery in Houston. I don't know why, of all the things to remember about a mafia guy, he was killed frying sausages. I have no idea, but every time I've ever cooked a sausage or something like that, you better believe, oh, Sammy boy, rolls through my head. He was born in 1908 and he died in 1975. American mobster who was a boss of the Chicago outfit from 57 to 66. And is buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery, Hillside, Illinois. Chicago outfit. This isn't about him. Sorry. I just had interest in him, so.
Maybe September. It was 75. Go there. He was killed. The night he was killed, Johnny Roselli was in town. But I saw Johnny Roselli, and I'm not sure, maybe September. It was 75. Go there. He was killed. The night he was killed, Johnny Roselli was in town. But I saw Johnny Roselli at the airport. And when Johnny Roselli come in, we didn't talk or anything. I was there to pick somebody else up that come in on that flight just by coincidence. And I was picking up a party that I did a lot of work for, collecting money and things. But anyway, I seen Johnny, we just nodded at each other. He had another man with him. When they left, we was right behind them. They got in their vehicle outside, we took off. We went down the road. We went down River Road, proceeding south. And the kid with me said the only place Johnny could be going would be going over to see Sam. Fifth Avenue on River Road there in Belmont, they had a place they called the Blue Horizon. Johnny pulled in there momentarily, let the guy with him out. Whoever this guy was, he wasn't going to Sam's house because Sam didn't like a lot of people coming to his house, and if he didn't know him, they wasn't going to get in anyway. And Johnny went on. I went my way, Johnny Roselli went his. Johnny Roselli, the next morning I woke up, Sam Giancana had been executed, gangland style. When he was killed, bells went off of me. Johnny Roselli had to be the one to do it, because he was there. I know he went to Sam's house that night. The following year, Johnny Roselli was killed. When Johnny Roselli was killed, the party, I figure it's the same guy that he probably dropped off. There was 2 people killed down there in Tampa, St. Pete, there in that area. That was got rid of at the same time. One was Johnny Roselli, the other one, another party unknown, whoever it was. I don't remember the name of him now, but evidently it was a friend of his that had traveled to Chicago with him. I figured he knew something and somebody took him out too, because they knew that Johnny Roselli, what he had done, okay? This guy, he might have told this guy knew, they got rid of him. And when it comes down to it, the crime family did not have Sam Giancana killed. I don't know who killed him except for Johnny Roselli there, but I believe that the government ordered the contract killing on Sam Giancana. I believe the government is the one that killed Johnny Roselli to shut him up so he couldn't talk.
All of this was about the time of the House Select Committee on Assassination?
All of it, yes.
So
The following year.
that was the tie-in?
Pardon me?
Roselli,
Definitely.
Giancana?
But anybody that knew Sam Giancana, they knew Sam Giancana would have never talked. He'd have went to jail. He'd have kept his mouth shut. He would not talk. The following year, Johnny Roselli, he got killed. That silenced him. And then, March 29th, this is the night that Charles Nicoletti was killed. And he was supposed to go testify before some committee. And he was killed at the Golden Horns right there in Melrose Park there on North Avenue and Manheim Road, the Golden Horns restaurant. And I thought at first maybe somebody in the family had hit him because we knew there was trouble. And right before his death, he'd given me this package and told me, he said, this is my life insurance. He said, if I need it, I want you to have it, you can always get to it. He said, and if anything happens to me, he says, you might need it someday. So what he gave me was, I took it and I went out, got me some cheesecloth, I wrapped the little package up and I put it in a little metal box. I went out and I dug a hole and I buried it. Put it away and covered it all up. So it's about a week and a half later, you know, Chuck was killed. After he was killed, right after that, maybe another week, 10 days later, so I walk out of the club. It's a nice night out, you know. So I walk down to the corner and the car's coming down off the side street onto Lake Street. Well, it comes up just like, you know, rocking for a Hollywood stop, comes up the stop sign and stops, hits the brakes and kind of rocks back. I step back up on the crib so I don't get run over. I'm thinking nothing about it, just nonchalantly, you know. The next thing I know is somebody sticks something out the window and I got sprayed in the face. And I hit the ground. I don't even remember falling down. When I come to, I was strapped up, tied up, blindfolded, and I went through a pretty severe torture test. And all this here has been verified also. What they wanted the ledger. They never got it. When they got through with me, my legs were still taped together, my arms and wrists were still taped behind my back. They threw me out of a car out there in Elmhurst. People found me, they called the cops up, police come out there. Some of them recognized me. Everybody in town, as long as I've been missing, everybody figured I was dead.
When they threw you out of the car, do you think they thought you were dead?
Oh, they thought I was dead, definitely. Otherwise, they'd have never left me alive. That's why I've always blamed the FBI for it. Because the family or the CIA, they would have a couple of holes in the back of my head and 4 or 5 inside the mouth through the palate, gangland execution style. These people, they didn't do that. When evidently they figured I was dead, they didn't even bother to untape me, nothing. I was still naked. They threw me out of the car in the nude. Ankles still taped, hands behind my back, everything still taped up. And they never got the ledger. It's still missing. Not missing, I know where it is. And let me clarify one thing. Nobody in the world knows where that is but me. It's right here. Nobody else can ever take them to it.
Still your insurance policy.
It's still it. And if I die, all those secrets in that book go to my grave with
Now,
me.
what's all in that little package? There's a little box,
It's
right?
a little box, little package inside cheesecloth, inside a metal box.
What's in there?
What is in there? And this side, this ledger, what they want. I got a few other things in there, but what they want is this ledger, because it's got just about basically every murder that was carried out in the Chicagoland area. It's got dates, it's got names, figures of money, different things, reasons why, people who ordered it.
Anything in there about the JFK hit?
You got, there's a couple little lines in there. It's got JFK down, it's got the date on it. Basically, that's it. I'm in prison for a specific reason. When I come out of the federal prison, I did a federal stretch and I was out for a little while. People started trying to kill me. When they started trying to kill me the first time, I was at along Quentin Road and
People were trying to kill me. Have you listened to anything that you've said? Yeah, I can see why there's people trying to kill you. Why are you shocked?
Rollins Road in Round Lake Beach, shortly past midnight, driving a little Chevy Chevette. And the cops had been harassing me there. They knew who I was. Every time they see me, they'd handcuff me, get me out of the car, and my papers blow out. They'd throw all my stuff down the street. Well, this particular night, I pull up the stoplight there. I'm on Quentin Road, fixing to make a right-hand turn on Rollins Road. I'm staying with my aunt and uncle at this time. They're about 2 blocks down from there. I looked up in the rearview mirror, and I seen a car pulling up behind me with no lights in the next lane. I thought, shit, it's cops again. You know, I'm gonna get hassled again. It's not a squad car number, but I just figured it's detectives, you know. As it pulls up alongside of me, I'm looking in the mirror, sitting by the door, the little door mirror on the side, and I see an SMG come up. What anybody don't know what that is, it's a small machine gun, automatic weapon. As I see it coming out of the window, I roll across the seat, hit the door, hit the ground, roll back up against the rocker panel of the car. They put 30 holes in my car. Full clip they put into it. As they were pulling away, I come up off the ground with my piece, and I got up about 4 rounds. I'm on federal parole at that point. I'm not supposed to be carrying a weapon, but you never find me without a weapon. I got off 4 rounds, took the back window out. They kept going. I jumped back in my car, took a right on the Rollins Road, went down to Grove Avenue, pulled into the house of my aunt and uncle's at 1620 Grove. Went in there and got the tarp from my uncle out of the garage and put it over the car so they couldn't see the bullet holes. That was the first attempt on my life. I got out of federal prison in '88. This year's late '89, early '90, I guess. And when they started trying to kill me on the street, that was the first attempt on my life in the free world, as I call it. Next day, I went to see somebody down in the city, and I went up and I asked them a specific question, if we had a problem. I said, I went and I did my federal time. I said, I got busted on the chop shops. I didn't take nobody down with me. I said, I went, kept my mouth shut. I didn't testify. I didn't give nobody up. I took the conviction. I done my time. What's the problem? We got a problem, let me know. And he told me, he said, Jimmy, he says, he always called me Jimmy boy. He said, Jimmy boy, he says, come down, come down. He said, listen to me. He said, you got no problem with us. He said, you did your thing. He said, hey, you didn't have the problem. When you was down, you got money, looked after certain people for you, took care of your family. You had no problems. When you come out, you went to the restaurant, he said, everybody parked, everybody come by to see you. He said, we dropped a lot of envelopes. He said, you have money when you come out. Everybody looked after you when you come out. That's respect. Don't think we're after you. Said, whatever you've done, it's for your previous employers, not us. That's on the other side of the fence, the people that you worked for before. He said, them, not us, Jimmy. He said, I give you my word on that. After I talked to the certain party.
That sounds like he was talking to the mafia, because only the mafia says, we dropped plenty of envelopes. Yeah, mafia guys, if you ever see Goodfellas, the scene where they get married, everyone's in line with their envelope to hand them to the newlyweds. Yeah, I can see that being the mafia.
In Chicago, down in the city, about them trying to kill me, and he's telling me that was my previous employers. What we're talking about here, we're talking about a government agency. I won't say which agency it was that tried to take me out, but I know at that time I had people in the DOD on me because I had taken certain material off the computer at Oxford from the arsenal, so I worked in the office. I had an excess classified material there for building new tanks, new helicopters, everything. I had the gun emplacements off one of the Black Hawk helicopters. I had the allocations for everything. I had the rate of firing, anything that's classified, because we made a lot of the stuff there. We made the nitrine cable to fire the Sidewinder missile inside a federal prison. Okay. Anyway, the second attempt was, well, now I realized this here is not the crime family after me. It's got to be a government agency. The second attempt on my life was, late at night, they ran me over on my motorcycle. They hit me so hard, they bent the frame on it. They totaled the motorcycle out. That's all on record. Next time I come around, the third time, with these two off-duty officers. One of them is David Ostertag. They will never admit they had a contract on my life, and I want to say one thing. I got no hard feelings against either one of these officers, even though they tried to kill me. I don't take this anything personal. I take it they were doing a job. They were doing what they was paid to do. They just blew it. But the thing is this, I'm here because somebody opened up on my partner and me. They tried to kill us in broad daylight on May 7th, 1991, 3:15 p.m.
1991, anyone who says 20 and a 25, whenever there's an and in there, I always, and this is not the first time I've heard it, but whenever I hear that, there's always a part of me that giggles and then thinks, okay. Just, I don't know what it is about that, but it throws me off. Yeah, I was born back in 1993, if I recall correctly. That's true. I was born in 2003. It's a fact. 2003.
Maybe 3:30, in the middle of Route 12, in a little place called Buffalo Grove. We're between Quentin Road and Long Grove Road on Route 12. They forced us off the road. When they forced us off the road, they said it was a high-speed chase. It really wasn't a high-speed chase. They spotted me at a gas station. I didn't even see them. I paid for the gas, got in the car. My partner, David Morley, he was driving. As we pulled out from there, they got in behind us. As they got up alongside of us, he started hit the gas to go. And I told him, no, hold it, pull it over. We don't run from nobody. And my exact words was, we don't run, pull it over. We'll deal with it. As they cut us off, like he pulled into like a part of a driveway. It was gravel, a little fast. He hit the brakes, we slid into a little tree. The tree we hit wasn't any bigger than my arm. I threw the door open on the right-hand side to exit the car. This was a leased car. As I threw the door open to exit, they drove their car, which is a white unmarked car, into the side of our car. When I seen the front of the car coming at the door, I jerked my leg back up off the ground so I wouldn't get it cut off when they were broken, and dug my head, and when they hit the door hit me and knocked me back into the car. I bounced off the dash, and at that point, they opened fire. My partner, David Morley, very good man. He saved my life on several occasions in the free world. His left hand is paralyzed. He'd been shot up a couple times before in shootouts. He can't use his left hand. At this point, he's leaning down, fumbling under the seat of the car, looking for his gun, looking for a 9mm. And I'm yelling, get out, get out, get out. And to me, it seemed like it's taking forever. When he got the 9, he put it up under his arm. He's got to close his arm, reach across, open the door to exit. Well, this is only a few seconds, but it seemed like a lifetime to me. When we come out of the car, when he come out, he took the first shot. David Ostertag went down. At this point, when I come out, there was no need for me to even shoot. The other officer, Bittner, I didn't know they were cops at that time, neither did my partner. We had no idea they were police officers. He crawled up under the car, and he was screaming, I guess, they're gonna kill us both, they're gonna kill us both. David Ostertag was already down. I grabbed the AK-47 out of the car, had it in the back seat. I'd went and picked that up out of the storage shed for the simple reason I'd had a meeting prior to those people, and somebody had poked me in the chest, and I just knocked them down and stomped on them a couple times and told them, don't ever threaten me to tell me you're going to trunk me. If you do it first and then come and tell me that you done it. I went and told Dave, I said, we got problems. I went and got the AK-47 out, got the ammo can out. I had a 30-round clip in the AK-47. This is all in the law books. The ammo can had 520 rounds of ammo in it. David Ostertag can tell you how many rounds we had for the 9mm, the clips, all the loose rounds. I went into a little swamp. Took them several hours to get me out. The AK-47 tractor spring, it broke, it wouldn't fire. A lot of people around, a lot of people. We had traffic backed up from the shooting incident there all the way to Wisconsin and all the way to the city of Chicago.
So if who opened fire first?
They opened fire first.
And they were in an unmarked car?
Unmarked car.
Plain clothes?
Plain clothes. They had a windbreaker on. They were wearing a badge on their gun belt underneath the windbreaker jacket, sitting in a car. They were shooting from inside the car. David Ostertag had exited, coming around shooting when David Morley dropped him.
Did they ever say you were under arrest or?
No.
Did they yell police officers?
Nobody identified nothing. I mean, the shooting started.
How many shots were fired before your partner took the shot?
Well, I'm going to say they got off probably the first 14 shots. They say they fired 3 and 11 out of 52. They said we fired the rest of them. But there's not that many shell cases on hand. And if the only weapons that were fired were 9mm that day, and my weapon hadn't been fired, That leaves 3 clips. It's only 45 rounds of 15 rounds to 9mm in a staggered clip. And they didn't fire that many. They still had rounds in theirs. So there's no way 52 rounds were fired that day. Oh, there's all kind of witnesses that seen what went down. There's witnesses that will plainly state on who got out, who shot who, and who shot first. That's all in the court documents.
So how they get a conviction if there are witnesses to say they fired first?
That was very simple. We were tried in Lake County, Illinois. It didn't take them long to convict us. Everybody on the jury was related to a cop. You don't shoot a cop and walk away. You shoot a cop, it don't matter if it's self-defense or not. I had witnesses that come there to testify on my behalf, and that was irrelevant, and they were not permitted to testify. My own aunt was not permitted to testify at my trial. As far as I'm concerned, it was a frame-up. It was self-defense, over and out. And I didn't even shoot nobody.
What has changed in your life in recent years?
I think probably the biggest change in my life is, and let me go back just a little bit farther. Before this change took place, I had no emotions or no feelings, basically speaking, for anyone at all. My family never came first. The agency came first, crime family came first. Everybody was always ahead of my wife and my kids. Wrong, I know that. I know that now. I've got probably a lot of regrets, maybe some remorse for a lot of the things that I did do. I'm sorry at times I wasn't there to see my kids go to their little school plays or do their dances, recitals, or whatever. I'm sorry I wasn't there for their birthdays, for a lot of their Christmases. But those things are part of my life growing up. These are things that I accepted, because to me, other things were more important. My family, my wife, my kids, they were way down on the list of priorities. Wrong, I know.
The same thing is said about like Secret Service agents. Their job is first. They get those phone calls. Hey, you're going to be gone for, a three-week tour in Europe or whatever. You're going to do this. You're going to, those wives, the husbands, kids, they suffer as well. But the job is the job, So I'm not frowning. I'm not looking down on him because he pushed his family down on the priority list. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Some jobs you do that. And
Are you remorseful about shooting Kennedy?
For many years, no, I wasn't. But as the time goes by, I'm not saying remorseful for shooting Kennedy. Maybe I'm more remorseful for how it affected this country and for the things it's done. Maybe John F. Kennedy did do some good things for this country. I'm not really sure. But I got a lot of remorse for a lot of things that I've done. But that's for the simple reason I've got my life turned around a little bit. So I can't be as hard as I used to be. I try to have a lot of compassion for my fellow man. But for John F. Kennedy, gotta be honest, yeah, let's say I got a little remorse there for him because not specifically maybe him, but like for his family, for the kids and all. But at the time when we acted, I felt that I was right in what we were doing.
Why did you dislike the man?
I disliked Kennedy. The reason you gotta understand, I didn't like Kennedy for one reason. I didn't know the man personally, never met the man, never seen him in person as far as I know. The whole thing was, I was heavily involved in training for the Bay of Pigs. I didn't go with them. I wasn't on the shoulder. I wasn't a soldier. I didn't go there and fight. I never fired a shot. I trained them in setting up demolitions, making bombs, weapons, ambushes. We call them MAs, mechanical ambushes, firing weapons, trained them in weapons trade, and some hand-to-hand combat. What I did wasn't all that important. But you get to know guys. You work with them all day. You're out there at the fire of the night. You sleep out there in the wilderness. You live together for a while. They get trained. They go away. If I'd have had my choice, I'd have went with them. Luckily, I didn't. But when they went there and they got slaughtered, got arrested, put in prison all their lives, tortured, killed, it was a mess. All because Kennedy, and we had all kind of firepower sitting out there waiting. We gotta had some good airplanes there. They shafted them bad. Kennedy wouldn't do it. He got scared. He wouldn't go for it. When I say Kennedy got scared, he was scared of Khrushchev, Russia and them. But the whole thing was this. That's one of those things. They called it off. It was a no-go. They had no support. They went in. they got their ass shot off.
So you felt like Kennedy had betrayed him?
Oh, Kennedy betrayed. I felt like he really betrayed me, even though he didn't even know who I was. But he betrayed the operation itself. And this was a government-sanctioned operation without a doubt. And when this happened, and then later I found out that a lot of the people that we had trained that were supposed to have been there, they were put on I want to call it a banana boat, like a freighter. And these people, they were trucked around. There's several hundred men on this freighter. And they're giving them like a 5-day joyride around the Gulf of Mexico instead of taking them over there to fight. And these guys, these Cubans, I mean, they were dedicated. They were dedicated where these were, well, when you get down to it, what's a patriot, what's a terrorist? The Cuban that have been terrorists, that's the patriots, okay? A patriot and a terrorist, the only difference is what side of the fence you're on. Everybody's fighting for what they believe in. But these Cubans, they were fighters. They wanted to go. And they were very, very upset with the agency and a lot of other people because they didn't make the scene. At the time, I believe the Kennedy assassination was a necessity. The reason it was carried out, the reason it was ordered, in my own belief, is the money people, the power people, they wanted to stay in Southeast Asia. It's not about who did who to what over here. It was about the money that was to be made. John F. Kennedy wanted to bring all the boys home from Southeast Asia that were over there. Certain people wanted to keep those guys over there. We needed it because there's going to be deep seaports built. There's going to be the biggest runways in the world built for bombers in different places, in Guam, Okinawa. Southeast Asia is going to be flooded with air bases. We're not talking millions, and we were talking maybe $1 trillion or more. You've got your chemical companies that's going to come in. This is the greatest ground there ever was for chemical warfare testing. And to have a war, you need deep seaports, you need runways, airplanes, manufacturers, tanks, weaponry, ammunition, munitions to be made, bombs to be made. We're talking an all-time economics deal here. Big money. They're sad to say, the rich get rich, the poor get poor. The poor die, the rich got richer.
Okay. It's very interesting. I can't say there's anything there that I couldn't see as truthful. But again, I'm not dug into a position over the JFK assassination. Now I want to watch the movie JFK. Oliver Stone. I won't, but I would like to. But I won't. Anyways, what do you think? Do you believe him? I wonder whatever happened to that ledger. Must still be buried. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, we're going to end this here. No, phone.
Sure, but first you'll have to unlock
I
the
wasn't
device.
I said, sure, we're going to end this here. I wasn't talking to you. I don't know why you decided to just chime in. You bitch! Stupid bitch! Told her. Okay, till next time. It just lit up again. Until next time, have a good day, have a good night. Okay, fingers on the right button now. Bye-bye.